What if the rules you're following in love aren't actually yours? Hmm. Think about it. So many of us are running on autopilot, following the scripts that we never consciously chose. Scripts about love, sex, gender roles, monogamy, commitment, even how we're supposed to communicate. And those defaults don't always come from us. They come from growing up, watching our parents' relationships, hearing cultural messages about what makes a good partner, or absorbing scripts from movies and religion. And without even realizing it, we internalized those rules and then started building our relationships around them. And here's the problem. When you never question those defaults, you end up living inside someone else's code. You try harder and harder to fit yourself into it, and you wonder why it feels suffocating, confusing, or just plain wrong. And the problem, most of those defaults weren't designed for your joy. They were designed to keep you in line, which means that you can find yourself stuck in dynamics that feel heavy and confusing or wrong while wondering if you're the problem. You're not the problem. The code is, and you can rewrite it. So in today's episode, I'll show you exactly how to identify the relationship defaults that you've inherited, question what's really true for you, and create agreements that actually work for the life that you want. Hi, I'm Alicia Payne, your non-monogamous relationship coach. Welcome back to Nope, We're Not Monogamous. And as someone who has spent years untangling jealousy, insecurity, and outdated relationship scripts in my own life, I know how easy it is to get caught running on defaults that you didn't choose. And I also know the freedom that comes from rewriting them. That's why I do this work, right? To help people like you build intentional relationships that feel nourishing and truly yours. So let's talk about how to start rewriting your own code, okay? All right, step 1, identify the inherited beliefs. This is where it starts. You can't rewrite what you don't even know you're carrying, right? So here's some questions to ask yourself. What were the rules I absorbed growing up about relationships, sex, love, commitment? Who taught me what a good partner looks like? And what ideas do I carry about jealousy, loyalty, or success in love that might not actually be mine? These are the questions to ask yourself so you can really start digging in and just even start to have the self-awareness of knowing what are my actual beliefs? What am I reacting to? Are they the beliefs that I want to hold, that I think that I hold? Or are other things programmed in there, right? But for example, maybe you grew up believing that a real relationship means one person forever. Most of us did. Or maybe you internalized if your partner wants more, then that means you're not enough. For me, some of those beliefs looked like I believed that if you were really in love, you wouldn't be attracted to anybody else. And as a very horny person, that left me constantly questioning whether I was truly in love. Sometimes I'd think maybe this person I'm attracted to is actually the one, quote unquote. But if that's how the one works, then why am I so damn attracted to so many other people? Are they also the one? Do I just not know? Right? And I thought that being a good partner meant that we would want all the same things. And if I didn't want the same things my partner wanted, I genuinely believed that I should compromise in ways that meant I just give up what I want, because that meant I was doing a good job of loving my partner, which made me behave in ways that weren't who they fell in love with. I also believed that jealousy and possessiveness were proof of true love. Now I understand that jealousy is really just my brain trying to keep me alive by hoarding resources or partners. It's not like a sign of romance, actually. I've learned so many things about myself, about how I want to behave in relationships, how I want to move in the world. And so many of those things are counter to what I thought when I was growing up, and what I thought even in my first marriage. Even though those beliefs felt wrong, I thought I was what was wrong, not that the lessons were wrong. These weren't truths. They were hand-me-down beliefs. And when I realized that they weren't mine, it gave me the space to choose something better, to write in the beliefs that actually felt true and authentic to me. And so asking yourself these questions are how you start figuring out what is true and authentic to you. All right, step 2, you want to question what's actually true for you, right? Once you see the belief, you hold it up in the light. Does it really serve you? Or is it holding you back? And this doesn't mean you throw everything out, right? Some of the inherited beliefs we have might really might align beautifully with your values, but others might feel like itchy wool sweater that you've been wearing your whole life because you thought you had to, right? So some examples. Do you truly believe monogamy is your path? Or was it just the only model that you saw modeled? The only one that you saw is available. Another question is, do you actually need to complete your partner, or is it enough to support and love them exactly as they are? And then a third question I want you to ask yourself is, do you want to build your life around obligation or intention? The ways that I shamed myself and judged myself for not holding to a promise I made at the age of 23 were ridiculous. I am a very different person now than I was at the age of 23. And if I was still living my life and holding myself to the promises I made then, I would be miserable. And that doesn't mean that the promises you made were wrong. Okay, I'm not saying that. But sometimes we have to take a look at what's going on. Are we building our life around obligation or intention? I had to ask myself, do I actually believe that attraction to others means that I'm not in love? Or does it mean that I'm human and wired for variety, right? Do I really think that to be a good partner, I need to erase my own needs? Or do I want a partnership that honors everyone in it fully? When I started questioning these things, I realized that most of my defaults weren't aligned with who I really am. They were aligned with who somebody else thought I should be. And that clarity opened the door to a lot of change. Okay, step 3 for you. You want to create new agreements with intention. And this is where freedom begins. This is where you start feeling free. Instead of running on defaults, social programming, the conditioning that we're all given in a monogamous culture, you set your own relationship settings. And you do it intentionally with the people that you love and care about, that you want to build your life with. So you want to ask questions like, what does this partnership mean to us? What does it mean to me? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to us together? And another really good question, how do we want to handle jealousy? How do we want to handle issues that come up? Do we want to do it the way our parents did it? Do we want to do it the way great Aunt Margaret did it, who murdered her husband? Like, how do we want to handle these things? And what boundaries matter to me? And what am I open to exploring? Get out your journal, like write this stuff down. And another good question for this is, where do I need variety and community outside of romance? So that I'm not just asking one partner or even several partners to carry everything for me. When you co-create your agreements instead of just inheriting them, you build relationships that actually work for you. Not just the ones that look right to others. Okay, step 4, you got to practice new habits until they stick, right? This is a hard part. Rewriting your relationship code is not a one-time decision. It's not a light switch that you can flip. It is a daily practice. Okay, so at first you're going to slip back into the old defaults. You might catch yourself apologizing for having needs or assuming your partner should just know what you're feeling. It's normal to slide back to these. And every time you notice and make a different choice, you're strengthening the new code. You're rewriting the code that you want to have, right? Over time, those conscious choices are going to become your default. And I'll be honest, I still catch myself in my old patterns. Sometimes I swallow my needs because I was taught that compromise meant silence. But I've practiced speaking up, and every time I do, it gets a little bit easier and a little bit easier. Other times I notice conditioning that I didn't realize was still hanging around, or even that I didn't realize I had, right? For example, I used to feel sad if my partner didn't show jealousy, didn't express jealousy, as if that meant that he didn't really care. And now I am able to recognize that that was an inherited script and not the truth about my partner's love. Um, these are stories that we get from all of the love stories that we've heard our entire life, right? Drama sells, sex sells, love triangles sell, having to make big life dramatic choices sell. So those are the stories we grow up with, and we're told this is what love looks like, and that is not factual. So the point is not for you to be perfect. It's to keep practicing until your chosen code starts to feel natural, until the beliefs that you want to hold, that feel in alignment for you, start to feel natural. They start to feel like they're really a part of you. Okay, step five, celebrate every single time that you choose you. One of the most powerful parts of rewriting your relationship code is actually noticing when you're doing it and celebrating it. It's really easy to blow past your progress and focus only on what's still going wrong. But if you don't acknowledge the wins, if you don't celebrate the wins, have some gratitude, the new code that you're wanting isn't going to stick. And here's why. Your brain is wired to pay more attention to danger and mistakes than it is to pay attention to progress. It's a survival mechanism. Our brains are designed to keep us alive. That's all they care about, okay? They don't care about your happiness. They don't care about ease and joy. Well, they do care about ease. They want ease more than anything, right? But they don't care that you have to decide the best ways to live your life. They care that you have to decide the easiest way to survive. So when you practice gratitude and celebration, you actually retrain your brain to recognize safety and connection and growth. And that positive reinforcement strengthens the new patterns until they become default. You get to train your brain, guys. Seriously. For me, it looks like this. When I speak up about something that I need, and my partner responds with care instead of conflict, shame, judgment, I pause and appreciate how different it feels from the old days of silence and resentment, right? When I notice attraction to someone new and no longer spiral into questioning whether I'm really in love or if I'm a bad person, I can celebrate that as a sign of growth. And when I recognize that my partner not getting jealous doesn't mean he doesn't care, it means that we've created trust and safety and security in our relationship. I can give myself credit for letting go of those old scripts. And celebrating doesn't have to be a big deal, right? It might just be taking a moment to take a breath and smile, writing it down in a journal or on your phone, right? Your little notes app, sharing the win with a friend, sharing it with your partner, right? The point is to anchor the experience in your mind and in your body. Gratitude and celebration tell your nervous system, this is safe, this is good, do more of this. And rewriting your relationship code isn't meant to be about perfection. It's seriously about progress. It's one brave choice, one honest conversation, one celebration at a time. You just, one foot in front of the other, taking it nice and slow. So, this is a quickie. This is a goodie here, a little short episode for you. Rewriting your relationship code isn't about throwing out everything you've learned or waiting until you're a perfectly healed human. It's really about noticing and paying attention to the defaults that you've inherited, the software that you were given as you were growing up, and questioning which ones still serve you and choosing which ones you want to create, right? Choosing new agreements with intention. Those are 5 steps that I gave you that are simple, but they're not always easy. Okay, I'm going to recap them for you. You want to identify your inherited beliefs so you know what you're working with. You want to question what's true for you instead of just running on autopilot. You want to create new agreements with your partners that reflect your actual values. You want to practice new habits until they stick. And then celebrate your wins so your new patterns take root, so they stick. Over time, these small shifts are going to add up to a really big sense of freedom. Freedom from other people's scripts, freedom from feeling like you're failing because you don't fit the mold, freedom to build relationships that actually work for you. And remember that freedom isn't a one-time achievement, right? It's a practice. It's a practice of choosing yourself, honoring your needs, letting your relationships grow from a place of wholeness. Because at the end of the day, love doesn't thrive in old rules or borrowed beliefs. It thrives in the space that you create when you choose to write your own code. You've got this. If any of this resonated with you, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast, Nope, We're Not Monogamous, so that you never miss an episode. And if you found value here, take a minute to leave a review, leave me a comment. It helps me know what's resonating for you. It helps more people discover the show and join us in rewriting their relationship codes. And I appreciate the heck out of you. Bye.